Hello everyone, I am back to give a brief explanation on past lives and a couple of experiences that I have. My kitten is going crazy, so sorry for any background noise. So, I grew up remembering my past lives. Of course, I didn't know what they were. They just mainly came as memories, as if they were in this life. They came as maybe an intense love or feeling of connection to someone else, like I had definitely known them before, but mainly through dreams. And I believe a lot of you out there have had the same thing and didn't know it. And I believe full-heartedly that to get some of these negative things we attract, whether it's relationships, people that are toxic and stuff like that, for me, what fixed it for me was going back to that memory, to that time. Now, I'm not only just here in this body right now, and I didn't just have this lifetime and this lifetime and this lifetime. That was just a part of my soul. And it's like that part is left out. It's too traumatized. And so everything in this life, it shows in my astrology, it shows in my numerology, everything is that I am supposed to recollect all of those lives where the trauma kept my parts of my soul separate. And I'm sure it's the same for many of you out there. It's a very common occurrence when people are born under the balsamic moon or the dark moon. You can look that up for yourself under a moon ephemeris and look at your birth date. Anyways, it's not easy. So I want to share a couple things. So growing up in a small town with concrete sidewalks and asphalt roads, being a tiny girl but having dreams on really tiny cobblestone streets, animals, maybe goats, maybe sheep, were in the streets and soldiers. But the common dream was being raped. And then my first year off at college, I was stalked and attacked. About 2.5 years into college, I stupidly was drunk and went to a frat house, got caught in the bottom of this concrete stairwell. Men pushed me down there. Don't remember exactly how. There was an emergency door, like a fire exit that you couldn't come in, but you could go out, but I couldn't get there. They pushed me down behind the stairs, and because it was the basement, no one could hear me screaming, especially with everybody partying and music. But an earth angel came through that emergency door, a tall man. I couldn't pick him out. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup of 2 people. I couldn't have done it the following day. All I know is those 5 men were about to rape me. They had my jeans off. The tall man came in through the emergency door and yanked them all off of me and saved me and got me my clothes back on and out. The point is, these are reoccurrences. To remember the pain that I'd had, that parts of my soul had had in other experiences that we call lifetimes. So that I process the trauma and bring my soul back together. Heal it. So that I'm not separated within my own self. But because of that past life memory, I had been attracting those types of violent men. Strangers, absolute strangers. None of them in any of those occurrences was anyone I was ever interested in. Anyways, so about a year later, I go to my first channeler. And I don't tell her any of this. But she really got into my past lives because she said that I came here to recollect my soul, that I have a lot of past life memories that are going to come up and they need to be processed. And one of them, she said, I was gang raped in Austria, cobblestone streets, by soldiers during World War I. I was only 16, she said, gang raped by 5 men. So I got the Dick Sutphin tapes, who, that man I absolutely love and adore. He passed away a few years ago. And I now have for decades done the same type of tapes, and they're no longer tapes obviously anymore. we had cassette tapes back then. So, but the past life journey. So I did that. I went into that memory of that. And by doing so, it was like that. It turned that switch off, and I never again attracted a dangerous person or situation, at least not to my knowledge. So if you feel like you have brought in memories and maybe attracting something toxic, it may be beneficial for you to go back to that memory. For me, in my memory, I remember being walked with the soldiers to a building. I remember I was with my sister. I was about 16, she was about 14. I remember one soldier looked very kind, and I knew something really bad was going to happen to us inside that building. So I pleaded with this supposedly kind soldier. I said he could have my body if he just saved me. And the look in his eyes, although he couldn't speak, the look in his eyes was, God, I wish I could, but they'd kill me. And later, the man I married, I started having dreams and realizing that that man was now my husband. And that is why my ex-husband has always been unbelievably helpful to me, no matter what. Kind of bending over backwards helpful. It's because he doesn't realize a part of his soul is regretful for that situation. So then I go and I'm recalling that both me and my sister were being raped and we were bleeding. And the trauma, being so young and we could not understand it. We had no one to save us, but it was in the middle of war. So God only knows where our parents were. They were probably dead. I remember deciding to die. And that's not a bad thing. I remember no longer feeling the pain because I checked out. So it would look like my body was still alive, but I was up over these soldiers and my body and my sister. And I looked at these soldiers and I realized, oh my God, this is not who they are. These are actually good souls who are caught up in a very violent time. A violent movement of rhetoric and lies, violence, war. And they had taken on the violence of a few people, really, who start the wars and keep the wars going. They had taken that on. I think I had a lot of guilt for my sister. And the big thing was I didn't trust life anymore. Because how could you let that happen to a kid? 2 kids. But I've learned a lot from it. And it's healed inside of me. And I want to help you